most importantly, are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are live. Or we should be live. Okay. We are live. And we are lagging. Hey everyone. Well, hello. So, hey everyone. Matt Arnold here, or Pious Bird, as you all probably know me. Today we're filming a third test episode, so I can check out a few things and figure out why the lag is going on. But oddly enough, OBS Studio doesn't indicate there's any lag or drop frames, so we'll just go with the lag. Maybe it's just that it's not at 60 frames a second. So today I thought we'd be fleshing out my IRC app a little bit. I've completed most of the protocol layer I want to complete thus far. If we need to add more later, we'll add more later. So today I thought we'd go through some administrative topics, let's call them. First off, I should show you all oh shit, I don't have LibRolf installed. I'll have to, because the first thing you're going to see me do here is install LibreWolf, because MozCorp doesn't need, or Google don't need any extra money. And I try to spotlight open source projects that need a little help on this channel. So we're going to install the LibreWolf browser, which you will see me use in nearly all future episodes. Fedora. So I don't recommend doing this ordinarily. But so we are going to install a browser so we can browse the internet. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is install the LibreWolf browser. And so the last thing I recommend you do usually is cut and paste random commands from the internet that modify your system in some way, but I've audited this and know what it's doing basically. We're just enabling a Coper repository, and it gives you the standard lecture about that. Um, so, yeah, now install. LibreWolf 94, cool. And then the next thing we're going to do is kill off all the other browsers for a while. So Firefox, you can take a nap. Chrome, you can take a nap. Chrome can go bye-bye. And as soon as we install LibreWolf, we'll get started. Archive my stream. And right now, all I am doing is installing a web browser. Having two chats to deal with is kind of difficult, but just so you can say hi to the Tildaverse chat, say hi to the Tildaverse chat. Alright, looks like LibreWolf has been successfully installed. And LibreWolf is a Firefox fork with zero telemetry, uBlock origin integrated, and all sorts of good stuff. I highly recommend it, although I don't use it as much as I should, which is why I'm using it on camera to kind of force me into better habits. But we'll be using the web browser extensively in this episode, so I just wanted to have it installed and to show you all where you can get the IRC bot we've been talking about over the past two episodes. So if you go to tildegit.org, it's a lightweight alternative to GitHub. So tiltegit.org/piusbird, because again, Microsoft don't need no money. And here we have, I'm calling this rabbit ears publicly, but SaintBot internally. It was originally called SaintBot, but I renamed it Rabbit Ears and haven't renamed it on disk yet. So, so that's something. But you can clone it from tiltegit.org. Yay Tildaverse. And thanks, Ben, for setting up the Git T instance. So let's move on. So now that we've gone through all the IRC related stuff and done debugging on that, I think we're in a good place to start fleshing out the purpose of the app. And the purpose of the bot is to have fun. I just want to pepper everything with fun little quotes and, have an IRC channel that's lively and rather fun. So for that, a bot is always useful. Anyway, so the first thing I wanted to add to the bot was something called a fortune database. And if you don't know what fortune is, I'll show you right now. I don't think I have it installed, so let's just do a DNF install. And we'll enter my password right here. What? No match for fortune? Maybe. Fortune Fedora. Maybe it's some Fedora-ism that... No, we're not going to use the Snap Store. So it's under the package name Fortune Mod, apparently. And I always up the wrong turn. No. Close the window. So Fortune Mod. Okay, Fortune. I apparently did have it installed. So what Fortune does, if you don't already know, is essentially give you a little quote in your terminal. And I want little quotes to be given to my IRC users with a command they can give on the in the IRC channel itself. So in order to do that, we need to do a couple of things. First off, since I want to separate my application from the sample code, what I'll do is create a Git branch. Git checkout -b, and we'll call it fortune underscore, or we'll call it pious-bird underscore public. And if you've never used Git before, I'll explain that a little bit later. But what I've essentially done is made it easy to keep the sample code and the new code we'll be adding separate. And now there are two ways of doing the fortune, a fortune database that I can see here. One is to use the fortune command itself through a pipe, and the other is to create our own fortune database. And that's what we will be doing, is creating our own database, because it really demonstrates some cool Python concepts, and we get to use some fun libraries like ORM Database Manager. So the first thing we'll do to create a fortune database is create a database. And you don't need like MySQL or Postgres or Firebird or anything like that to create a simple SQL database. We will do that here on the command line. SQLite 3 /fortunes.db. So this is SQLite. It's the most popular database engine in the world. It's a serverless database engine that provides SQL databases basically on demand. So just by opening Fortunes DB, we've created it. So we'll just create a table. And I want to do this first. Underscore mean. Create ID and integer that's not, I can't spell primary key. Integer. Data as text. I still can't apparently spell. Let's see if it'll allow us to do int primary key. Okay, this is rather embarrassing, but I'm going to have to look up the create table statement. because I don't like SQL. I don't do SQL normally. I do MongoDB, but the MongoDB is exceptionally annoying to integrate nowadays. Um, so here we go with W3 schools. Okay. Int. And what am I doing wrong here? Int primary. The as clause. There we go. We fixed that. Cool. So how we're going to populate Fortune's mean is we're going to look in the 9 front, or we're going to go to perhaps the meanest person in open source, and that is Theo D. Rott of the OpenBSD project, who will be mean to you if he thinks you're being stupid, which he's very smart, so he thinks everybody is kind of stupid. So, and there just happens to be a very good database of his quotes lying around. 9 front sources. So if we go to 9 front source code, okay. If we go to files, RC, bin, deal. So we need to find the file libtheo and download it. And good old Ori Bernstein committed it, and we'll just do raw. And we'll copy link. And I should really be using tmux for this, but and we will create int prime and we will create a directory called aux files within the and copy, make sure we copy the aux file. Okay, and we'll go to the code editor. And within aux files, we'll create a new file. And the purpose of this code I'm doing right now /en Python 3 Python 3 and we'll just aux file. db insert SQLite 3. And let's see if I can do this from memory. First off, we need to have a water break, because I really need to get some water. Hang on, everyone. Sorry my screen went black there, but I really don't want you to see image file. Here we go. You can take a look at a static picture of my ceiling with the star with this with the stars on it. Center of the frame. Okay. So I'm going to go take a water break, and you enjoy the picture of my ceiling. Okay, I'm back. And let's look at let's go look at the Twitch streaming stats because I'm curious. Um, okay, and now back to the show. We have about 2 viewers. Um, so for DB insert, now back to the code. So the first thing we need to start out with, and this is all one main function, so I'm not going to do anything complicated here. If sys len, that takes the length of a collection. Okay. Sys argv is less than 3. Now this pattern requires a little explanation. The sys.argv list is the list of arguments passed in on the command line. And the reason it's less than 3 is because you always have the name of the script that was run in argv0. So it'll never be less than, and we need 2 arguments. So if it's less than 3, we need to error out, print usage. A file. We'll just call it database. File. Fortune. Usage database. Fortune file. Cool. Sys dot exit 1. Okay. And now there's no need for an else in this statement. Because why did that just run? Or try to run? Anyway, because if that condition was met, we've already exited, so we're already at an else condition where we need to be. And the next thing I need to do is remind myself of the Python documentation for SQLite. How we connect to databases and so forth. So that's Python. SQLite. Library 3. So okay. Okay. So con equal to sys argv 1 and next I need to look up, and this is really embarrassing, how the integer primary key behaves in SQLite. So SQLite primary key, integer primary key. So we'll see if we can do this. What I'm trying to establish now, basically, is how the insert statement will have to work. Again, I hate SQL. But I'm showing it off anyway because it's a handy skill to have. Cursor with open, have to spell with right, and sys arg v 2 as fp for line in fp oops, as fp colon for line in fp cur dot execute no. We misspelled that, so let's just drop the table. Oh, table. And no surprise, I misspelled. And let's just call it mean table. Oh, we have rowed. Data text. Create table. So we'll simplify things. And I'll show you the reason you can do this after we get the inserting program finished. Data text. That simplifies my life. Data text. So cur.execute insert I have to quote that, don't I? Insert into mean insert into mean, and let's see how Python prefers you to escape those values. Values question mark. Question mark. And line. And we do cur dot omit. And we can exit the program sys dot exit 0. Okay, cool. This is rather embarrassing. I'm out of practice. We took an hour to code up a 19-line program that I should have been able to do in my sleep, but we got through it. So, we now go to the aux files directory and do python or chmod plus x aux files or db insert.py /db, and always path test your code. So that's one path through the code where it just exits, showing the usage. And now we'll test out the actual fortunes.db. And now we go on a debugging adventure. And chat, if you know what I'm doing wrong, please, by all means, speak up. Let's just make sure I'm doing that one correctly. And no, we don't want to log in Geeks for Geeks. You're not even that great. In Okay, that's what we're doing wrong, I think. We shouldn't do lines equals FP, not read lines, for line in for line in lines. Not my first instinct, so we will Google this error. Again, I hate SQL. Oh. I need to parenthesize that, apparently. Who knew? Are we saved on the disk? And apparently, if we include a comma, that makes a difference. Isn't SQL fun? con.commit. And yeah, we should be doing that. I should have included some debug statements, but we will watch paint dry. So we will just drop that table again and recreate the database. And create table. And we will do a db insert. And all the fortunes are going into the database, it looks like. And this will take quite some time, but we can watch Theo Dirot being mean to people scrolling across our screen. And meanwhile, we will explore how to add this functionality to the bot. And we have been streaming for just over an hour. Woo! So next thing we need to do is go into client.py. Actually, I think we will watch the scrolling of the data, the scrolling of the thing while I do a piece to camera. So, I hope you realize, dear viewer, that coding is fun but frustrating. And it can be like watching paint dry sometimes. And sometimes your host will look incompetent. But I'm not actually incompetent, I'm actually quite good at what I do. I'm curious, just how big is this actual text file? ls. We'll go back to the screen. LT. LTRH. Theo. 40 kilobytes. We'll see how that. So approximately 40,000 and so approximately 40,000 database entries. So on with the show, I think. Well, while everything is inserting into the database, we will now actually use the database. And for that, we need to quickly pip install a package. Now pip is the Python package index or Python install package. And what we're going to install is something to make SQL a little less painful, and that's called Peewee. Pip install Peewee. There we go. And we've had a couple of version updates since last I saw this. And the disk stopped rumbling, so that must mean our thing is done. So yeah, now we just need to look up the Peewee ORM documentation. We're at the current version, which is good. And the reason we can go without an integer primary key in SQLite, for those of you familiar with other database systems, is because, let me see, select data from mean where roid equals 256. We'll just pick the number 256 at random. Is because SQLite automatically creates an integer primary key for you. It's called the roid row. So let's see if our Peewee ORM documentation has loaded. And no, apparently not. Here's the question: are we still online and streaming? Because that Okay. We are lag-tasticky. Okay. Okay. The documentation for this module doesn't want to load right now, apparently. So we'll go see if we can RM. How are we're suddenly dropping frames, so I'm going to end it right here. Or end it soon. So this is Pious Bird signing out. For now, I might try to get another episode up soonish. Alright, thanks, bye.